Hi everyone, I've just started a live video right now. I'm told that I can flip this video around, but I still don't see a thing for it, so I don't think that's going to... I've got a timer, I've got a mask, I can put a mask on, a little stars and stuff. I can put a frame on and I can write on it, I don't know, but that's just not working. So we're going without flipping it, just saying. Hi Fiona, hi Pat, how you going? So we're going to do some free motion quilting. I'm just getting my camera ready. It is going to be in reverse. I'm hoping that I can flip it when I go to YouTube. I've just got to change my bobbin because I had a grey one. There it is, a white one. I think that's almost empty. So I'm just going to put some white in this. I'm going to talk to you while I'm doing it. I think I need to put some grey on. So I'm adjusting my tension, my top tension, to a 6, just under 6. I'm just going to put some... hello Sue, how you going? I'm just going to put some bobbin in the put some thread in the bobbin. It's got some on it, but I don't think it's going to be enough to do what I want to do, because free motion quilting always uses more than you expect. So I'm just hang on, what's going on there? Got caught. Oh yeah. Also, to let you know that bobbins have a right way, or threads have a right way and a wrong way. This one's just decided to be a bit of a dude. Look at it. Stupid thing. So I've got to just unwind a bit while I swear at it. All right. So it just shows you that we're all human. All right. So it is... you need to stop Mary. She's going to jump at that door. Okay, so I'll just start again. Opposite daisy, foot down. No. Try again. Press the buttons. All buttons. Just press a button until you figure it out. Got stuff everywhere here. This last few days has been rather busy. Hi Julianne, how you going? So I'm just going to demo some free motion quilting on, excuse me, on that piece that I did the other day in the class for Craft Alive, which I've been told that they are working on getting sorted. They did have a lot of technical issues on the Friday, so it should be in the archives eventually, and you'll have the ability. Are we at the beginning? If so, hi everyone. Julie, yes we are. We're just started. I haven't quite got myself organised. I was trying to throw in a cup of coffee before I went live again. I've been doing orders as well, and Mary's just come up to give me a hand, so fingers crossed she double triple checks orders and makes sure the names are right on the packages this time. I'm just going to put needle down and needle up so it's in the right position, and you'll hear her coming in and out of the room. That's just Mary. She's just gone to take the dog down. That is foot down, and now it's grabbing. Okay, that's better. All right, bobbin in there. I know I have little tiny scissors somewhere. There they are. So I don't know what your day's like there, with what the weather's like, but it's been not bad here today, considering. I put my needle all the way over to the left, by the way, just to let you know. Don't know why I do. It's just something that Janome have always said is best to do, to have your needle to the left rather than in the centre. It's just another trick. I also make sure my feed dogs are down, so just making sure they should be, because I was in free motion mode. Hi Karen, how you going? I've just popped the same thread in I was using the other day, which is the gem thread. So it's nothing spectacular. It's no expensive thread. I'm going to move this right up here. And you know I yap and carry on while I do this, so bear with me as I get myself organised. I'm going back into where the circles were, so the foot's down, and I'm going to do a cut off because that'll help bury my thread. Now I noticed I had a really nice sort of circle. It's cold and cloudy, it hasn't warmed up all day, no sun today. No sun here either, but it's still not a bad day. I have a size 16 needle in, and I just got a whole supply of needles, bag batting, keep saying bag batting, batting joiner, and I also got the automatic needle threaders in too. So they're another one. Actually, it might be worthwhile doing a small demo on one of those. They're quite a handy little tool to have. Hi Stella, how you going? So all your orders from the last few days or last week are all getting packed and going to go in the post first thing tomorrow. Anything you order today, though, will go into the next one on Thursday, just to let you know that, although I might be able, if I haven't already packaged it, I might be able to get some batting joiner. Okay, that's good, Stella. Good to hear that you're feeling good. Everyone's happy. So I've got this really nice sort of snaky looking bubble thing going on here. I've got my speed on just under half. Got my gloves on because everyone loves my gloves. Those who don't love my gloves obviously never used them. Oh, it's a public holiday, Pat. Oh, okay. So I'm just going to, I might actually see if I can lift the camera up, get it over the top and then down. Can use a needle threader on the long arm. That needle threader that I'm talking about is for hand sewing. The needle threader on the long arm, you can actually use just a normal needle threader, but you need to come from behind. Just come from behind your machine, put the thread in then, so front, and then pull it back, okay? So, yeah, you can use a needle threader on the long arm. It's just a little bit more, I don't know, a bit harder to get to, all right? Okay, so I'm going to continue to do some circles for a bit just to get warm up. And you can see I'm not going overly fast. I don't want to shred my thread. But you do need to be faster than a really slow tack, 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 like you would on with metallics. If you do it really, really slow, like you would with metallics, you'll get really squared off circles. Like the edges will be all square. So I'm just sort of filling in a little bit more. And I'm going to do a larger circle. Just going to fill it in there. I'm going to make it look like it's behind a few things. A few things that are behind it. And then I'm going to come in with a triangle, down a bit, 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 and just go on. And that sort of gives you that little star in the center of your circle. Just breaks it up a little. I'm going to do a few of those around. And I won't have them next to each other. It just breaks up the boredom, I suppose, of doing just all tiny little circles, and it helps to take up some nice amount of room too. Alright, so I'm just filling in, and I probably need to go in that fraction bit faster. It's alright. I've only just started, Judy, so you haven't really missed anything. That's a bit better. Now, the beauty of this, when you're doing anything heavily quilted like this, it really pushes down that fabric and it helps to make the main feature, which is my painted area, it makes that stand out so much more. The other thing it does is it does make the fabric a little bit stiffer, but I don't mind that in an art piece. It doesn't really bother me. So once I get going, just a word of advice, I wouldn't use a variegated thread when doing this sort of thing, because you can't decide where that colour is going to land and it can look quite messy. So I'm going to do one of those big ones here, or sort of semi-big ones in a second. I'm just travelling up there. And there it is. I'm going to come in the triangle to the centre, move along a bit, travel along into the centre, a little bit of a triangle, into the centre, travel along, into the centre, travel along, and then just keep doing some pebbles. And that looks like that one's going off the page a little. Now, if you want to up the ante and you want to do a bit of a different design inside it, you can. You can do, each one can have a little different picture. Let me just get around here a little bit and I'll do another. Just got to create a bit of distance between this one and the next one. So if you've got any questions, please ask. Anything I can help you with. The gloves I'm wearing, for those who are new to my site, are called the Nifty Quilters gloves, and they are $36 a pair. They are brilliant. Those who haven't used them wouldn't have a clue what I mean by brilliant. They actually help with keeping my posture ergonomically correct. For you just stippling, can you use the variegated thread? Yes, variegated thread you can. Micro stippling with variegated thread is fine, but you just might not want to have it too small where it just looks really messy, like lots of little dots rather than stitches. Okay, so you just keep it a little bit bigger. So this one here, I've just done a larger circle, but I might do something different in it. I might just give it a bit of a wave through it and come back, and then another one on the other side, and then just go on. Okay, so it looks like I'm holding, again, like I always say, I'm not holding with my fingers. It's the base of my hand, it's just my fingers are resting there. This hand, of course, is because I'm on the edge of the fabric. If I let it go, though, I've still got control with the base of my hand and no fingers. Look at that. All right. Now, there's something I've seen and I've noticed a lot when we're doing workshops, is that when people are learning how to free motion quilt, a lot of people have a tendency to feed their piece through, like their actual piecing. What you need to remember is that your hands stay flat in one position, and you move the fabric. You don't lift your hands up off here unless you've stopped sewing and you need to reposition. And remembering, when you reposition, make sure your needle is in the down position before you take your hands off. Don't be tempted and get a bit rushed and take your hands off first. because I'm using like a tonal thread with the fabric, you won't really notice any little indiscretions. If I was to use, say, a white on a black, you will see every little squiggle and mark that I make. It can still look good, it's more obvious. So depending on your OCD issues that you have, and we all have them, as to how you would like it to look, if you don't want it to look too thready, then you would have something that's more tonal. So we go one way, right around again, and back to the other way. So around one way, and back to the other. It's like a figure eight. Okay. I'm going to do another circle up here. It's got a nice big area there I can do one in. And you notice my circles aren't perfect. Okay, so the next, see, I've done a little sort of one there. I've done two little triangle ones there. So let's think of something else we can do. Okay, so let's do a bit of a gap between those waves. And then come across the other side and semi-crosshatch. Yeah? Along here, and I might do that one there, and we'll just do a bit of a crosshatch in that one. But you can see how it's really pushing that down. That's very puffy there. You can see how puffy it is, and it's stitching it down beautifully. All right, you won't get that stitched down really easily, like nice and flat, if you don't do heavy stitching. So I'm going to keep going, and I'll throw in another circle one here somewhere. Just build up a bit of distance between one of those big circles and the next. Don't want them too close together. Do one here. Alright, now I'll stop here. I hope you can see it. Big circle. Now I'm going to work to the middle and stop. Okay, now I'm stopping because I want it to be a center point. Then I'm going to go back up that line, and I'm going to do a flower in it. And then I'm going to come out and continue on my way. Now you might see that I've got an area behind it that I haven't quilted. So I can do one of two things. I can travel like this and go around these other ones I've done. Just go in and around, get all the way down here, and then stitch from that way forward, which I prefer to do. Or I could have travelled down that straight line there, a wavy line. And make your circles look like they're coming from behind the line. Okay? So slowly we're getting that filled. Oops, a daisy, a bit of a wobble. I don't know why I do that. It's just a jerky motion that sometimes happens. I think we all do it. Either that or I'm just a weirdo. Alright, I'm coming close, and I'm just going to travel back over here. And you can see I've only got this little bit to do. When you're free motion quilting, do you sew over the previous stitching at all? Yes, I do. When you are using the open toe right for free toe foot for free motion quilting? When do you use the jumping foot? Okay, so some jumping feet actually have an open toe as well. So I'll use either one. It really just depends on, I'd prefer them to all be open toe. And it just depends on what project I'm doing and where my machine's at, and there's really no other preference other than I just prefer to be able to see more than what the jumping foot, the closed toe foot gives me, what the options gives me. The jumping foot is just another version of this, and it does the exact same thing, but the majority of them are closed. Although, in saying that, there are many machines that have a jumping foot that's open toe as well, all right? So the jumping foot is just relevant to the machine that you've got. If you've got a really old machine, it'll be a jumping foot, and that's because they used to use those in the older machines for darning, and that's how they worked. So these closed toe, open toe feet are more relevant for the newer machines, okay? So just working around, getting over here, nearly there. Jeez, I'm going to need a Bex and a lie down after this. So you can see it's really quite puffy, and it looks like where is all that fabric going to go to? Where's all that wadding going to go to? Well, it's not going anywhere. It's just going to stay exactly where I've put it. And because I've based it around the edge of this, I've used a couple of layers of wadding as well. It's going to do as it's told. Okay. So any kind of free motion sewing, just to answer a little bit further into the question before, I will travel any chance I can not to be cutting off. Alright, that's that one. So I'm just going to cut that off. You are using open toe. Yep, looks great. Thank you, Gidget. So that's it there. Oops, today's. I'll try and get it so you can see. You can see it there. Message coming through. I'm going to move the camera back a fraction just so you can see a bit better. There it is there. Oops, it is. There we go. Nice and filled in. Yeah? Doesn't that look awesome? Now, you see how long it took me to do that one little piece? If you're going to do the whole thing in bubbles, you want to really love bubbles, pebbles, or whatever you want to call them, because they do take a really, really long time to do. So that's just one version of. The next one, I'm going to do the next one probably around here. I like to alternate. I don't necessarily go right around. There's no real method in my madness. The first thing I'm going to start with is I'm actually going to do, I can hear my voice going croaky. I'm going to do a flower, and then I'm going to put some echoing around it, and then I'm going to fill up with some pebbles and stuff like that, and do a little bit of what they call it, stippling and pebbles and stuff like that. So it's like using 3 different designs in one, a little bit of a what do they call them? Not divide and conquer, join and combine and conquer. So the flower I'm going to do, if you're not really, keen on just going freehand, you can draw these on first. So I'm doing quite a large flower. It's like a bit of a pansy sort of thing. I've got 5 petals there, and I come back there and I'm going to do the circle in the middle, and I'm giving it a bit of a swirl, and I'm coming back out. Now I've just got to, before I go any further, just check that you guys can see. Just move it back in there. There we go. So I've done a bit of a flower, but I want to give the inside of it a little bit of something. So I'm literally going to echo the inside this time. Travel across, echo the inside. I haven't changed anything, no settings on my machine at all. So you can see I lift up this hand then, but I didn't actually take this hand off the machine. Now we're going to echo, and I haven't cut off. I'm just echoing around. And it's an eyeballing. I'm not really measuring much. I'm just eyeballing. So I haven't lifted my hands up at all, other than to reposition like that. And it's really just to skip along. So there's the flower. I'll just see if we can get in a bit closer there. If you can see it, I haven't cut off yet. Oops, a daisy. Oh, a bit of a... So, I can't tell now. There's a message come up on my screen. Okay, so it probably can't see, but I'm going to start pebbling around it. I might even put a half a flower hanging out the side here somewhere. So I'm just going to pebble around it a little bit and just travel over. I'm going to do a few pebbles around right next to it. This will make it stand out just like it would the main design in the center of it. So there's your little pebbles. Do a handful of those. And then let's do a little bit of a micro stipple. This micro stippling is quite cool. I should just say a little scratchy thing, because you feel like you're really not moving. And I'm going over here because I want to go over and show you what I mean about doing one on half a thing. And I'm then going to put in some more circles because I want to travel. Just want to get to that edge a bit, but I don't want it to look like I've just stitched straight over with a straight line, and I don't want to cut off because I'm lazy. So then I'm just going to do a bit of a stipple. Just be careful not to have that straight line. Look, I can see a straight line here, so I need to go in and just add another couple of pebbles in. Couple of pebbles here. Alright, so I've got to my edge. Cool. Now, I need to just travel up a bit and give myself a bit of room. Oh, hang on. Novice question. With free motion quilting, how do you learn to balance the stitches in an area? So with new machines, you just move with the material while stitching. How do you just do one segment of, of the material then? Okay, so I think, Marie, I'm trying to sort of work out exactly what you're asking me. So so with new machines, you just move with the material while stitching. How do you just do one segment of the material then? Okay, so depending on what quilt you're doing, as to whether it's a traditional quilt, whether it's per blocks or whether you're stitching in the ditch, or whichever way you're going to do it, depending on the quilt will depend. That will give you. So if it's a traditional quilt, I'd start at the top and work my way down, start at the top borders and just work across the top and then work down. With these sort of quilts, they're small, so they're easy to manage, and I have sectioned off purposely sectioned off areas that I can actually quilt in. So they're pre-stitched down so that they don't go anywhere. I just work around. I just feel it's just a feeling you get. It's a bit hard to answer. With art quilts, you don't really have to be precise on where you are starting and stopping. The only thing you have to watch with art quilts is that it doesn't, because you're doing heavy stitching, that it doesn't pull in and gather, which this one's not doing, so which is brilliant. So because I've got 2 layers of poly wadding in here, plus the front and the back, so it's going through like four layers. Plus, when I stitch around and on the paint, it goes through the paint as well. So once, so I hope that answers. I'm not too sure. Novice question: when free motion quilting, how do you learn to balance the stitches in an area? If you're talking about stitch length, like the length of your stitches, with free motion quilting, the length of your stitches depends on you. So how fast you move the machine as to the speed of the machine. I use my stop-start button. Okay, there's a stop-start button on the machine just here, and I put my speed at a certain level that I know that is comfortable for me. So everyone's going to be a little bit different. So on the front, if I can get it to here, you can see there's a stop-start button there. Plus I have my rabbit and tortoise and hare thing, so it tells me how fast I've got to go, or I can go, and I know that mine's going to be about there. So when I press the start button, I know that that's going to go the speed that suits my hands. So I put the machine at what it suits for me, rather than me trying to keep up with the machine. Should you test a piece before you do a gift quilt? Oh, absolutely, yeah. And test piece on fabric that is the same, if not similar, and the same wadding as what your gift quilt will be. So that you know that when you're stitching through that amount of thickness on that sample, it's the same thickness as what it is in your gift quilt, okay? So this one here, I'm just going to turn that under so it doesn't hit the camera. Sorry about my arm in the way. I'm going to come up here now, and I'm going to do a flower like it's off the page, all right? So I'm just going to travel up that line. I'm going to stop about there, and I'm going to do those petals like they are falling off that page. So one there, one there, one here, and then there's the tiniest little bit of one. All right, then I come in and do that circle. I do the same process as I did before. Looks like I've got a bit of a curl in it. Come back, do the inside of it, because I'm going to echo. Do the inside of this one, and the inside of this one. Now don't forget, we're going to echo this. So then I'm going to travel up here. I'm going to come over and just echo what I've already done on the outside. Alright, so now I've got one falling off the page. Okay, you can see it's sort of coming over to that edge, and it looks like it's coming off the page. So I'm going to cut off there, but that gives you an idea. I'm just going to move the camera back a bit. And so you can see what I've just done here. I'm just trying to see where, if you can see it. There it is there. Okay, so I've done one here off the edge, and I've done one in the center. I personally like odd numbers, so I'm going to end up doing another one, probably up in this end here. Not where I'm going to cut off, but somewhere up here. Or even one, oh no, I think up here would be better. Well, I'll take a look at it as I go, and I look at what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve, and then I decide just on that area. You can see that those bubbles and that tiny little stipple really makes this stand out, and it creates a puffy, makes it look a little bit trapunto-y. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Just a short little demo with some pebbles or bubbles or whatever you want to call them, and a couple of flowers. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope I answered some questions for you. If I didn't and you need more information, please feel free to send me a PM, and I'll try and help you out as much as I can. I will see you in around about 45 minutes at 4 o'clock, and we will do another demo, and I'll show you how to do some awesome paisleys. See you then.